During, before, and after every election cycle, there's one thing that remains constant, and that is this phrase: becoming is better than being. And that's precisely why we consider ourselves to be a work in progress. It means that you are never complete, and you always have that opportunity to become someone better.
Indeed, after an election cycle, it is when we realize that being a work in progress means that we have the opportunity to be comfortable while making mistakes and accepting ourselves for who we are.
Yes, we are work in progress. My name is MC Squared.
I'm X.
Hey, okay, so, and I'm none other than your host, GK. Welcome to the show.
Thank.
So, this has been our first show in a bit of a minute. So,
As you can see, we're working out the kinks, getting back into rhythm.
Exactly. So, to get back into rhythm, what we're going to do is enjoy ourselves and be honest about each other by answering a few questions that our producer has shared to us. And the game is very simple. It's called Who is Most Likely To? And you have to give honest answers. She's written a number of statements, and then we have to agree amongst, by voting. This is a democracy, sort of. I have a bit more power. But
Then it's
by
not a
voting,
democracy.
by voting, and then the person who has the most at the end wins. Okay. So, who is most likely to start a fitness series?
I'll put the results on the server, so
Make sure the servers are accessible, please.
very accessible.
Fitness series.
I think it's me, to be honest.
It's Aileen.
It's AX.
It's me.
I don't.
I think it's me.
But I think the one with the business gene is a bit
It's
more.
it's MCC squared
However,
with the fitness
Oh,
bug.
you
it's me.
meant
because there's a whole thing, a fitness
in
series.
terms of
Because it's a series.
Because
like
Okay.
business.
No, because like for me, I'm thinking like on YouTube, like you develop a series of workouts, and like each workout has like a theme,
That's
like a
also what
flat
I
tummy
Oh,
series,
okay,
a
that
summer
makes
shred
sense.
series.
And then who of us makes the best? Hey guys, that sort of thing, and it's definitely
It's
AX. Yeah, we give it AX.
AX1.
AX1.
Hi guys.
MC Squared is doing the calculations there.
Nice. The servers are open.
Servers will be open.
Very
Don't
clear.
worry. Don't worry.
Yes.
Most likely to star in a Beyonce video.
It's okay. It's me.
Now,
It's me. No. No
because
need to proclaim
I
me.
once,
It's
I
me.
once, I once
It's
read,
me.
I once
It's
read
me.
that
It's me.
Beyonce likes having weird people in her video.
I'll just vote
So
GK.
I would vote AX as well because she's weird.
This one I
You
have no
couldn't just let
comments.
me
I'll
have the
just
confidence.
Just vote GK.
I'll just vote on this one. I have no comments. Just vote.
AX got 2 points there.
Yes.
Next one.
Reporting from 2 of 10.
Next we go. Most likely to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's
You
very
know what?
obvious.
I don't know. I don't think it's GK.
Yeah, that's very obvious.
You were
No,
sitting
it's-
so confident.
It's very
so
obvious
confident.
it's me.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's MC squared.
It's very
I don't
obvious.
know why. I just get more
He
like a
would-
peace
he would
vibe.
win- No, he would win the Nobel Prize in mathematics.
But he could also
Nobel
win it in
Prize
peace.
literature.
Even
Nobel
in
Prize
peace.
physics.
Listen,
Even
listen.
in
What
peace.
if?
I'm
No.
a peaceful person.
He's a
I
peaceful
Even
person.
in the Bible,
He's a peaceful
in the
person.
Bible, in the book of Matthew, you learn about peacemakers and peacekeepers. Peaceful people are mainly peacekeepers. Me, I'm a peacemaker.
I beg
So,
to differ for the
I
simple
think you'd
reason
vote
that
for
like
me.
Barack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize and he hasn't really kept peace. He's just made peace.
Yeah, so being a
Reporting 3 of
peacemaker
10,
is good,
MC
is better
squared.
than
And
one.
he's a peacemaker.
Reporting 3 of 10, MC squared 1.
Okay, that one is
Contentious.
it's contentious. But let's move on. Most likely to be on Broadway.
Okay, you know what, GK?
Okay, that
Your
one
voice.
we will give you.
Your voice.
That one.
can
We
keep
will give
speaking.
you for
That
your
one-
voice.
that
For your
one is
voice.
GK.
Would
That one is
you,
unanimous.
would you like to give the audience a little bit of something? A little trailer?
Oh, but of course, okay.
Like, listen.
Oh, no.
Reporting 4 of 10.
Okay, let's go. Next one. Most likely to run off with the circus.
I swear to
I
God, if
think
y'all
it's AX.
choose me-
It's 100%
Circus
AX.
Americano.
It's AX, I think.
No, guys, I have like the circus is literally a madhouse. I can't.
You
can't.
can't.
I like
You're a
structure.
mad person?
No, I like structure.
Okay, yes, she's very
out.
structured.
I like structure.
She's out.
Ah,
She's
then we're
out.
going with MC squared then.
It has to be MC squared on this one.
It doesn't feel
has
right
to
for MC
be
squared. Are you running away with the circus? You.
Yeah, you really
No.
But it's also such an... You see, the issue that we're having with all this is none of us are people who are sporadic enough
To
be
run,
like,
just
drop
decide
everything and run.
we're gonna run
I
to the
consider
circus.
myself a volcano that has not erupted yet.
Mount Kenya has not erupted for 1,000 years, for hundreds of years. If you can be dormant. You are a dormant volcano.
And circus is
Okay.
Who are we giving this one?
I think to
MC
you.
squared. Yeah,
You
we'll
want
give
it
that
with a
one.
volcano. You want it with a volcano.
Okay.
Most-
reporting 5 of 10
Most likely, this is going to be a contentious one.
to become president.
Oh, it's not me. It's not me.
I never had you in mind.
Rude. At least pretend.
I think it's between me and
No,
MC
at least
squared.
pretend.
Yes,
You know what? For
yes.
that, I'm gonna put my vote with MC squared. Even though I know you might be a better president because you like sitting on the fence so much.
I told you, and I've said it many times, I'm not a fence sitter.
You're a fence warmer.
I'm a fence stander.
No,
I
no.
stand on the fence. So when you stand on the fence, you have better view than everyone else on both sides of the fence.
You're also likely
I
to fall
stand on the
off.
fence.
Yeah, you're also likely to fall off, break
Yeah,
a
to
couple
one
of
side or the other. So
break a couple of
Lads.
bones. It's okay.
Fall
no
on
problem.
people who have already made up their mind.
So your vote is going with?
MC squared.
I want to hear it.
Oh wait, am I the tiebreaker?
Yes.
Yeah.
The power is great.
I know
Okay,
you must
you know
be
what?
feeling like Voldemort.
No. Okay, fine. Let me search my soul. Let me just
Is this going to take long?
GK.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it is literally only because you sit on the fence so much, and as a president, you need to be able to balance different considerations and opinions without like getting involved in the discussion so much.
Reporting
Right.
6 of 10.
However, go on.
Okay. Most likely to drop their phone in the toilet. Now,
I'm
this
gonna
one
say
It
makes
has
sense.
happened
I
to
would
me.
say me
It has
because it's
happened.
happened. It's
It
happened
has
to me.
happened to
It's
me.
happened to
It
me
has
like 3
happened to
times.
It's happened to both of you.
Three
Now, okay, so here is Rashid. Have I touched any of those phones?
No,
No.
Okay.
No.
Then
no. In fact,
I've never dropped. Actually, I have a story of a relative of mine. I'm not going to say which kind of relative.
All right.
Who dropped their phone in a pit latrine. And then and we fished it out.
No!
We went, we got like the kids around, got like wires, people went down, got it out. And after we got it out, she refused to use the phone.
of course, it fell in a pit
She
latrine.
refused to use it. We cleaned it.
When
It
mine
fell in
I
a
used
pit
it.
latrine.
Yeah, you use it. Did yours fall a
In a
pit?
pit latrine.
No.
So I think we're
Okay.
giving this a 2-8 tie.
No, it can't. There's no such thing as a two-way tie. And in my favor, even though this is a massive L, I will say this: my phone was once carried away by the ocean.
Why would you go?
So
with
is
your
the ocean a
phone to the
toilet?
ocean?
It's the beach. You want to take cute selfies? Duh.
During my times in holiday, my phone stays in my room.
No.
Yeah.
But I think because of that
That's
fact,
why I
and
have
the fact
no
that I've been
pictures
not
of it.
reckless
Number
to allow
7.
the ocean.
GK.
Okay,
GK
next
is
one.
breaking the tie. No, you've not.
Oh,
Yeah,
we've
break the
not.
tie. Break the tie. Break the tie.
Ooh, no, you
You're
have
both-
to return
you're
the
both
favor
so
to
clumsy
AX.
people, but I'm gonna say. Now you've messed things up for me because I was going to vote for AX, but now you're making it
Yes,
sound like
exactly,
I'm corrupt.
exactly. Yeah.
I vote for AX. Let's move on. Number 8. Most likely to
I'm not
sleep
happy.
through an earthquake.
I'm
I think
going
we'll
to
give
get
it to
it.
MC squared. I
But
think.
why? We don't know how he sleeps.
I have a feeling. I've had a few glimpses. I won't say where. I've had a few glimpses.
Okay, this one I would even give
MC
myself.
squared can
No,
sleep
MC
through an
squared,
earthquake.
MC squared, MC squared.
100% MC squared. 9.
All right.
Most-
Reporting 8 of 10.
8 of 10.
Out of
Okay.
10. Most likely to be the next Bob Collymore. Now, I remove myself from this one.
MC squared.
I'd say it's between MC squared and AX. But the type of CEO I see AX more of is like
The
Richard
Patagonia.
Branson. Those the weird ones who like walk barefoot.
And Jeff Bezos.
yeah, they like sage
Me, I'm
and all
the
those things.
visionary. I'm the.
Hey, Bezos is a
the-
You look
visionary.
the part
Branson is
during
a
the week.
visionary.
You wear a bow tie and suspenders
Yes, thank
every
you,
day.
thank you,
And
thank you.
Meanwhile, I will show up to work in Adera because I really want to show up to work in
if she
Adera.
could, if she
Oh my
could.
God.
So
Hey.
we'll give it to, because of the type of CEO. I'd say both of you can be CEOs, but because of the type of CEO, Bob Collymore, it's MC squared.
MC
Yeah,
squared.
the good CEO would be-
Last but not
A
least.
good CEO.
Most
would
likely
be
to
me.
trip on their own shoelaces. Now, I learned in physics in high school that if you have a wider surface area, it's harder for you to slip and trip. So, because I have a wider surface area, apparently people tell me I have a wider surface area, I think I'm not in it. I don't trip much. I only trip on my words.
Okay.
So, it's between the two of you.
Considering I fell.
She walks very fast.
No,
Chief.
okay.
Too fast.
Considering the fact that I fell in an undisclosed area like 10 days ago, I'm gonna have to vote for myself.
Wow. I think you don't trip. I've never seen you trip, Mr. MC Squared. I've seen you drop everything. He drops his phone, he drops his
But he
cups,
will
he
never
drops
trip.
his sets, everything. But he doesn't fall.
That was a thinly veiled.
Compliment.
No.
Let's
It was an insult. That guy drop everything. Even sense, no.
drop this conversation.
Mr. MC Squared.
Voting
Final
Mr. MC
tally.
Squared.
Final
Reporting
tally.
9 of 10. AX
10 of 10.
10 of 10.
Is
Yes,
me.
AX got that one as
think
well.
I'll
we're
also
tied.
give this one to AX, and I would have won if I voted for
Yeah,
myself.
if you
You'd
would have
have
won,
won.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because right
I
now
would
it's
have won
4
if
for
I voted
AX,
for
4
myself.
for MC Squared, and 2 for GK.
What do you mean I only got
He got 2.
what do you mean I only
He got
No,
2.
Sorry. Before we move forward, I'm
You-
going to
wait,
relook-
hang on,
I'm
hang
going
on.
to look
Wait,
again at
wait.
these questions.
We actually don't have time though.
Fitness series, we said
It's
AX.
me. Beyonce is
video
me.
AX.
Nobel
Win the
Peace
Nobel
Prize
Peace
is
Prize.
MC
Apparently,
Squared.
you said MC
Broadway
Squared.
is you.
Okay.
Circus
She
is
voted
MC
for you.
Squared. President is you. You want Nobel
She
Peace?
voted for
You
you.
want Broadway and President. Phone and Toilet is me. Sleep Through Another Quick is MC Squared.
It's
Bob
me.
Collymore MC Squared. Triple the
Yes.
Shoelaces is me. If it makes you feel better, you want the
2.
important ones.
Yeah. And both had a relation to drama because you have to be dramatic as a president and you have to be dramatic as a
So you're a
Broadway
drama queen.
star. Wrong gender, but correct
You're a
sentiment.
drama king.
Yeah, I am a king.
The
Thank
kings
you
have
very
drama.
much.
Anyway.
Okay, anyways, this is now time to move on and move on to a different type of the discussion.
So we are going to share an Oscar.
Yes.
Yes, you guys will
I'll
share
let
an
you
Oscar.
keep it.
I would like to thank the Academy for this prestigious honor. I want to thank God. I want to thank my family. I want to thank GK and MC Squared for sucking so hard that I was allowed to rise above the fray. Truly, God is great, guys.
Please thank yourself.
God is great. Why should I thank myself?
As the president of the
For not giving
Republic
up.
of Whip, I officially declare these Oscars null
And void.
There we go.
Opaqueness, due to the opaqueness.
Due to the
of the-
opaqueness of the situation.
Okay, so now we move on. We've had some time to enjoy ourselves, but also during this break, something did happen that was quite significant to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
To Kenyans, there was a big divide. Some people were very sad and crying, and my condolences. Others in Africa and Anglophone countries were like,
And
does
we
it
care
matter?
why?
Why should we care? So this all has to do with the Queen.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth II, who we know was coronated here in Kenya.
Yeah.
No, she found out she was
found out
queen
she was going to be queen
when
here
she was in
Kenya.
Kenya. The
At the
treetops.
treetops.
At Treetops 70 years ago, 1952. A few months before the Mau Mau rebellion. Yes, just throwing that out there. She passed away at the age
The
of
expert
96.
on Kenyan history. Yeah.
Yes. She passed away at the age of 96. And her passing, it's not necessarily a sad occasion for anybody because someone who's lived beyond 80 or beyond 90 has lived a good life. However, questions did come out about the way in which Africans responded to her passing. It's like they said, wait, why should we mourn
Yeah.
from the death of a colonizer? That was sort of the vibe they held.
Well, it's not just that. It's also the way in which we chose to.
To not recognize.
Yeah, like
Is it even a recognition?
Okay, so you have like number one, the people who chose to like make fun of the death, and like it seemed like Black Twitter, Kenyan Twitter, Indian Twitter, Caribbean Twitter, the colonized people of the world Twitter were ready for this day because the memes I saw were peak excellence.
Wow.
Hands, honestly, please tell me you didn't enjoy those memes.
I did not
Please
see
tell
a
me.
single one.
Oh, he has respect for the dead.
We have respect for...
You can have respect for the dead, but still remembering accurately their legacy.
It's too African.
You can still.
It's too African.
The two are not
I've
mutually
never felt
exclusive.
insulted for being called too African.
Yeah.
So
too
you have
African.
like on the one hand you have people like making light of her death. Then you have on the other hand people who are recognizing that she was a famous person who did contribute somewhat to the development of our modern world. And then you have people that were like, well, Queen Elizabeth was a colonizer. Why should I feel sorry for her death?
Yeah, I think
she colonized us.
the EFF got viral.
Yes.
Oh,
Which
my
is
goodness.
Julius Malema, his party, by saying that they will not. They basically wrote a letter saying we shall
won't.
not mourn,
We are not mourning.
and that's basically what they said.
And even recently, like in Australia, after the Queen was buried, we saw anti-monarchist people who are against the monarchy and having the Queen and the royal family in England as the head of state in Australia burnt the flag.
Wow.
It's deep. It's deep.
So that whole conversation has gone viral, and it went viral for about 2 weeks. It was just everywhere. I think the world is missing news. So
It's not missing news. It's a lot
flooded us
easier
with
to
this
focus
news.
on Queen Elizabeth than like on Ukraine, the flood in Pakistan, the flood in Nigeria,
Yeah, the Nigerian
malnutrition.
floods, my goodness.
It's just too much.
the world is blowing up. But we won't focus on the world blowing up right now.
No.
I wanted to hear your personal opinions as to the passing of the Queen, how you felt about the response, and what you feel should be used, moments like this, how you should use these moments, positively, negatively. So we'll start with Mr. Stats himself.
MC
and then
Square.
we'll go to Miss most likely to drop her phone in a toilet.
Wow.
Yes. So, MC Squared.
Mr. Petty, I am proud. I am proud to wear that badge. You want to know why? Because at least I know my faults.
Me, I'm a president. I don't have any faults.
I think restrict myself to a response on one of the issues that we were raised. Is Africa right in victimizing herself on what was done to her, and especially in times like this when the queen is dead, are people supposed to remember that you did this, you did 1, 2, 3, you oppressed, you tortured people, and all this? And the question was, are we still victimizing ourselves?
Yes.
Or we have refused to move on?
Yes.
Are you saying yes to the answer as an answer?
I'm answering, but as you go.
Okay.
I think for me, it's a yes and no question. In the psychological sense, then Africa should continue remembering what happened to her. We should continue thinking about what colonialism did to us, the oppression, the setbacks, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if we forget history, we will be bound
to repeat it.
To repeat it.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is no. Why? Because I think we have pegged every single problem facing Africa as
to our colonial experience.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is wrong. Right now, I feel we should be at a position where we can say, okay, this happened. But in a developmental sense, Africa should stop saying, okay, the reason we don't have healthcare, colonialism. The reason we don't have good education, colonialism, right? I feel it's wrong for us at this point in time to continue saying, you want to blow up.
She's ready.
I know, it's okay. I'm waiting patiently for my turn. You see me just engaging with MC Squared's comments. This is me engaging.
Because you see, what colonialism did, right? They took our resources, especially the Queen's crown as that gold.
Like a diamond.
Yeah, diamond that they took from South Africa.
They took our leaders' heads. Koitalel Arap Samoi's head has still never been found.
Not to mention Patrice Lumumba's.
Patrice Lumumba, see, they
recently
returned his tooth.
Not his body, his tooth.
Tooth, yes. Now imagine all this happened, right? And we are okay to blame colonialists for this. But when we elected leaders, when we got independence, re-independence, our leaders took the same route of oppression, taking resources, right, through corruption. In the same manner the colonialists did, they are doing it, but then blaming colonialism
for their errors as well.
So I feel Africa now should, in one word, grow up.
Before I allow AX to go in, I think I have to agree with you there. For me, I've gone through various shades of Pan-Africanism through my life. You start off in Pan-Africanism, there's no way you can start but radical. And so I said everything about the colonial experience was horrific. It was wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't want education in the way that we've been taught in school in English. I didn't want anything.
Yeah.
But as you grow and you realize how hypocritical human beings are, you start to open your eyes to certain realities and accept that where we are is where we are.
Yeah.
And the question that I'm bound to ask is a question you're asking as well. Is where does the buck stop? Where does the chicken meet the end of the road? Is that the saying?
I don't even know.
Where does the something meet the road? The saying will be found at some point and someone will correct me. And that's the question that we're bound to ask ourselves.
Yes.
Beyond this period of time, how long is it that we can continue to hold on to this anger and use these moments? Because I am a Pan-Africanist, but I felt this moment to say, we will not mourn because we remember, because we remember, because we remember. I feel it was the wrong moment. I know it's because, number one, I have problems with making...
speaking ill of the dead.
Speaking ill of the dead. It's a very African thing in me. But it's also because these are things either we should be preaching consistently or we should completely, we should accept, we have to accept our part in our own fate. And what I feel is her history is complex. People say she did great things. I'm not necessarily for that. People say that she played a big role in the apartheid movement.
She didn't play a big role in as much as she kind of encouraged Margaret Thatcher's government, who is deeply problematic to like actually do something about apartheid.
That means
It's not a big it's not a big role. It's
she
just
played a role. So she played a role in certain freedoms. However, I just feel that we cannot continue to play the victim card and then turn right and say, give us money. You know, that sort of thing. Like, I'm victim, now give me loan.
but no, but
I'm victim, now give me aid. I'm victim. I think at some point, our responsibility is to solve our own issues without necessarily blaming.
Yes.
okay, so now here is where I come in with my radical leftism, because actually, surprisingly, I actually do agree with you, but here's where I differ. Yes, I agree that we should stop talking about colonialism, because right now we're using the colonial rhetoric and using our history as a political tool. Our politicians and our leaders are using our history of colonialism and our experience of oppression as a way to absolve the blame from themselves, as a way to not address their the fundamental failures of their leadership, right? But I also recognize that, like, in doing so, we are, number one, kind of erasing the autonomy we fought so hard to fight for, right? Because the whole point of independence is that we have the freedom to not only define our next path in life, but to also make our own mistakes. So we need to be able to own those mistakes.
Exactly.
That's number one. However, I will say this. I will say this. Two things. Number one, the colonial state. Hang on, I'm having to clean up the language in my mind because I have very strong language about this. The colonial state deeply messed with Africa. It took our traditional governance structures, our traditional values, our traditions, and gutted them and then replaced them with theirs, not really explaining why it is that we're supposed to do these things. So what we got was not the fullness of the European experience. What we got was what they needed us to have so that they could continue to extract wealth. Right? Number one. Number two, they also entrenched an authoritarian system of rule, because the only way you can do that kind of mass resource extraction is to have a very centralized system of government where everything goes up, everything goes down, and you are making sure that you know, like in Nyeri, this much is being extracted, and I can make sure I can extract it. In Mombasa, this much is going from port in Mombasa to port in London. You need to have a centralized state. And the failures of many post-independence governments was that they did not redress this failure. They mainly perpetuated the authoritarian style of government. Right? I would wager that it wasn't until 2010, when we got devolution in our country, that we started to really address the failures of colonialism, right? So I think from 2010 is when we can start to, at least
start to see the change.
Not only see the change, but even as a matter of rhetoric, start to separate ourselves from the history of colonialism and start to say, hey, maybe it's time that we move on. That was my first point. The second point is...
The second point.
No.
You already said secondly.
Okay, fine. So thirdly...
2.2.
Fine. So 2.2. I still believe that there is merit in not necessarily victimizing ourselves, but in recognizing that we are still living through trauma. Because the trauma of colonialism, and scientists have shown this, can be passed down genetically. Like in the US, there are studies that have shown that the trauma of slavery has been passed down from generation to generation in their DNA. It is now a part of who we are. And we can't forget that. That is how they have fundamentally changed our bodies. And they need to account for that. Like, I think my primary frustration and why I refuse to mourn for Queen Elizabeth is that her children have recognized, not her children, Charles and William. Yeah, Charles has recognized.
That's her children.
No, I was going to say William is a grandkid. So like Charles, I think, in the very least has recognized that, hey, maybe slavery was not cool. And like the royal family benefited from it, and maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
She never did. At no point as a head of state, and I understand that you've said this before, that no head of state will ever apologize for things that have been done in the past.
Unfortunately, people really feel that they should.
They should, like because you messed up.
The Americans went and visited Japan
after they blew up. Does not act.
After they what was that?
Retrospectively.
No.
The US blew up two cities.
And they went to apologize. And the Americans.
They've never said sorry.
No, Obama
went and they got pissed. They got upset with him, bowing his head to the shrine, to the shrine.
So
that's it.
So okay, the reason why I disagree respectfully is Germany.
You bring Germany in now.
Germany, for all its crimes, apologized and it's actually done the work to make sure it but it mitigates the possibility of a Holocaust type event originating from Germany and happening again.
Here is where I agree with you. A government or the monarchy like the UK one is not made up of one insensitive person, right?
I mean,
it's made up of I said one insensitive person. One person could be insensitive, but it's made up of other people who can actually sit down and reason.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yes, you're correct about that. However, I would also wager that the monarchy itself, the monarchy itself, is an institution of colonialism and racism. For example, it wasn't until the 1960s that Buckingham Palace allowed people of color to be hired. Right? And the Queen Elizabeth and the royal family itself is exempt from anti-discrimination laws.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's true.
It's
I
true.
say things, but
It's true.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So in as much,
no, I really want to be a prince.
So like in as much as like yes, we should not be harping on the past.
Yeah.
We should be finding a way to move on. The only way we can, like, it's not about them apologizing as much as it is us like finding a way to move forward. We also need to recognize that the royal family itself is not doing the work to make sure this never happens again. They don't care, and it's frustrating.
So our answer, in summation, because of time, our answer is very simple. It's complex, but you understand.
It's complex, but we understand. Yeah, it's complex, but we get it.
No. Our answer is simple. The colonial conversation must
continue.
And should continue.
It should.
But Africa must not
an excuse.
It should not be an excuse.
Say that is why
it should not be an excuse.
Yes. An excuse for underdevelopment, an excuse for not backing your people, an excuse for favoring foreigners over your own people. No. Stop using colonialism and the colonial experience as an excuse.
Don't use it as a political narrative.
Yes.
But understand your history, because your history is what's going to create your future.
Yes.
So as we conclude, we have about a minute. I'm going to share with people a recommendation. I don't know if you guys have some to share as well.
I
have one.
Oh, you each have one. So I'll take a few seconds and then you'll go in. A person I consider to be a mentor of mine shared with me a book that I can't lie, I'm like in chapter 2. I really struggle with reading books.
I know what book you're reading, and it's a good book.
And it's a very good book. And I feel for anyone in your 20s and in your early 30s, you should read a book called The Defining Decade by Meg J. The first chapter, for example, talks about how the people float around in their 20s. They don't know what they want to do other jobs. But when you're seeking work, seek meaningful work that helps you in the long term.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be work that pays you well, but work that grows you. And it was very interesting.
Oh, and she also makes a really good point about like using your weak connections, right? Like, don't be afraid to reach out to even people you haven't spoken to in a really long time, because they might be how you get forward in your career, how you get forward in your life. Like, honestly, use all the resources at your disposal.
So the book picture shall be there. If you need to ask, just send us a message and we'll respond to you. And AX, what is yours, quickly?
So mine is called The Sins of the Mother. It's this Netflix documentary. It's a 3-part series. It's about this mom who allegedly, because the trial is set for next year, allegedly murdered her 2 children, facilitated the murder of her husband, and then also was a part of the murder of her significant other's wife. Like, it is a wild story. There's a lot of religion involved in it. There's a lot of like family dynamics involved in it, and it's a very compassionate retelling of a truly horrific crime. Definitely go watch it. It's truly engaging on Netflix.
Okay.
Mine is The Prince. The book by Niccolo Machiavelli.
Yes.
We just concluded politics in this country, and we have a new king. Oh wait,
A
new
king?
president.
There you go.
Please, please, the 1963 elected leaders and nominated ones. Please go read Niccolo Machiavelli, The Prince.
The 1963 elected official people.
Including speakers of the...
Isn't that curious that it connects to the year
Please don't. I knew you'd mention it.
Whoa, that's really interesting. Okay, and it's on that interesting 1963 note that we're going to conclude for you today's Work in Progress. Thank you so much for watching the episode. We will be back with you with more episodes, and we'll see you next time. Bye.